while ago my husband brought home some glowing filament for 3D printing and I wondered if there were any glowing beads. And I found them. They are Japanese Toho beads. I will put a link in the video description. And I thought they would be totally cool for a Halloween project. So I made this pattern and I'm going to show you how to make these glowing ghosts. So let's do it. If you have prepared a beading mat, a bead mat like this will make it easier to pick up your beads and they won't go anywhere. Next, of course, we will need beads. The most important ones are these glow-in-the-dark beads. The name of the color is glow-in-the-dark crystal/bright green. It's size 11. The link where you can buy the beads can be found in the description of the video, as well as the rest of the list of the products I'll be using in the video. These black beads are also Japanese Toho size 11 beads, is color opaque jet. These two are size 15. This is silver line crystal and this is also opaque jet. And finally, these are 3mm fire polished beads. This top triangle is sewn with a square stitch and I want it to be pretty stiff, so I'm going to use fire line size 0.12mm in crystal color. I want this fringe to be flexible, so I will use a Nymo size D. Of course, we will need a needle. These beads don't have a very large hole and I'll be running the thread through the bead several times, so I chose a thin thread. I think this is John James size 13. And scissors or some cutter. I'll use a fish hook, so I need a pair of them. And pliers, round nose pliers and chain nose pliers. Okay, let's get into it. I cut a piece of fire line, about 1.5 meters will be enough. I thread my needle. I put on my stopper bead. Use any larger bead, it will not be part of your beadwork. It just serves as a kind of a stopper so that the other beads don't fall off the thread before you sew them tightly together. And I go with my needle through the bottom up again to secure the bead in place. I leave the tail long enough so then I can weave the tail in. To make it easier and not to have to increase the beads in a row, I will start in the middle. I'm going to pick the first ghost to show you, but they both sew exactly the same way. I start with this row. I'm going to sew row by row towards the right and then finish this left side. I'm basically just going to decrease the beads. And finally, I'm going to sew on these fringe beads. So I pick up 7 transparent beads and 3 black beads and bring those down to my stopper bead. I'll continue with the next row. I pick up 1 black bead and I pass through the last bead of the first row, passing through with the needle towards me. It looks like this. Then I pass through the bead that I just added. And I will continue exactly the same way. I pick up another black bead, pass through the next black bead, and back up only through the new bead. So keep adding beads that way according to the pattern until you get to the end of the row. Now we have 2 rows. Sometimes it can look like they don't quite fit together, not sitting pretty straight. And this is quite common, don't be worried. That's why after you finish every row, you are going to pass the needle through all the beads of the previous row. And then through the row that you just added. But since I will have one less bead on the next row, I'll only pass the needle to the second to last bead. So now the beadwork looks straighter and is more reinforced too, which is good. And I will continue exactly the same way. I pick up one transparent bead and I go with my needle from bottom up. And then through the new bead from top to bottom. Now I add another bead, so I pick up another transparent bead, and again the same to the next bead from bottom up. And down through the new bead again. Now it's time to add eyes, so I pick up one black bead and again from bottom up and down. Another from bottom up. And continue the same way to the end of the row. The third row is finished and now we reinforce the connection again. So I go with my needle through the previous row, like up like this. I skip the last bead because I need to go down, and in the third row there is one bead less. And I go with my needle all the way down through the row, through the beads that I just added. And now we can continue with the row number 4. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the right side done, and now I'm going to finish the left side. So I go through the beads towards the end. It doesn't matter if you start here or here, it's up to you. And because the sides are mirror image, what I can do is flip the beadwork over and sort of continue down the row. So now my left side is finished, and I will continue the same way as I do the beginning, the right side. But you can continue on the left side if you can, it doesn't matter. But I like to work from left to right. So I'll continue exactly the same way. I pick up one transparent bead and go through this bead from bottom up and go through the new bead from up to bottom. Add another bead this way. Pull tight always. And it's time to make the second eye, so I pick up one black bead and continue like this. Bottom up and down. And pull tight. And I reinforce the connection again, so I go with my needle almost all the way up. I stop one bead before the end of the row. I help with pliers. And I go all the way down through all new beads. And I can continue like this with another row. Now I've got my ghost done, and I weave the tail in. I go through the beads, change direction several times. And finally cut a thread. I'm going to attach the clasp at the top here, so I'm going to make a loop of small beads here. I remove my stopper bead and thread the tail. I pick up 450 nose. My thread is coming out of this bead, so I go with my needle through the very next bead. You can go through a couple of them if you want. And I reinforce the connection, so I go through the loop again. Go up and through the loop. And also weave the other tail in. Now we are going to sew French beads. I cut a piece of enamel. About 1.5 meters will be enough. Thread my needle. I pass through the beads anywhere I want. And I go through the beads and change direction several times to secure my thread in place. And I'll be heading through the beads to this edge bead. So that you don't have to count the beads, I have written here in the pattern how many transparent beads you need to string on each row. So I pick up first 28 beads. I bring them down. Then I pick up one fire polished bead. I also bring it down. And one black 15-0. And I go with my needle through that fire polished bead again. And through all the fringe beads up. We want the fringe to move naturally, like this. Don't pull it very tight. Okay. I'm all the way up. I went through the edge of the basic ghost, one bead up, and then one bead down, and continue with the second row of the fringe. So I pick up 26 transparent beads, then one fire polished bead, one black 15-0, and go with my needle through that fire polished bead again and go through all the fringe beads up again. And up through the last row of the basic ghost. And go down and continue exactly the same way. And it's done. Now I just weave the tail in. And I add a fish hook, so I open it with my pliers and attach it. So let me know in the comments down below how you like this tutorial. If you don't want to miss any of my new tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support me even more, check out my Patreon or channel membership here on YouTube, where you can get a lot of benefits. And that's all for today. Happy beading, happy Halloween, and see you next time. Bye!